Hello grade 9, this is Batul, an English teacher from Taqarib School. So in today's video, we're gonna have the difference or how to distinguish between the present perfect simple and the simple past tense. So the LO or the learning objective is to distinguish between the present perfect tense and also the simple past tense. Now let's start. The present perfect tense is used to describe an action that started in the past and still relevant to the present or has just been completed. It is formed with the present tense of the auxiliary verb have, has or have depending on the subject if it was singular or plural, and the past participle of the main verb. So we use the subject, and after the subject we use have or has. Then after have or has we use the past participle of the main verb. For example, see, the past participle of the verb see is seen. The past participle of the verb eat is eaten. For example, I have lived in this city for 5 years. I have lived in this city for 5 years. The key words now. The key words of the past perfect tense are ever, never, before, already, just, recently, since, for, so far. Again, ever, never, before, or already, just, recently, since, for, so far. Now, the past simple tense. The past simple tense, on the other hand, is used to describe a completed action in the past, often with a specific time reference. It is formed with the past tense of the main verb. For example, I lived in that city 5 years ago. So here we used the subject, and after the subject, what came forward is the verb to, the past tense of the main verb. For example, live, the past tense of the verb live is lived. I lived in that city 5 years ago. The key words of the past simple are yesterday, last week, month, year. For example, last week or last month or last year. And in year ago. In year ago, for example, 3 years ago or in 4 years ago. The other day, and the last one in specific time. For example, in 1999, in 2012. In short, here's the summary. The present perfect focuses on the connection between past and present, while the past simple emphasizes a completed action in the past. Now, the present perfect tense is formed differently for affirmative and negative sentences. Let's start with the affirmative or positive form of the present perfect tense. So first of all is the subject, have, has, plus past participle of the main verb. For most subjects, use have. So we use have with I, you, we, they. For the third person singular, he, she, it, use has. He, she, it with has. Examples: I have seen that movie before. She has visited that museum. Now the negative form of the present perfect simple. We start with the subject, then have or has. After have or has, we write not. So So, not is placed after have or has. After not, we use the past participle of the main verb. Add not after have or has to form the negative. Examples: I have not or I haven't seen that movie before. She has not or she hasn't visited that museum. It's common to use contractions in spoken and informal written English, as shown in the examples with haven't and hasn't. So the contractions in spoken and informal writing, such as haven't or hasn't, instead of I have not or she has not, for example. The past simple tense has different forms of affirmative, the positive, and negative sentences. Let's get started with the affirmative one. The affirmative form is, first of all, subject, then past tense of the main verb. For regular verbs, add ed to the base form of the verb. For irregular verbs, use the specific past tense form of the verb. So regular verbs, we only add ed with them. For example, study, studied. Walk, walked. Watch, watched. Irregular verbs, we change the whole verb. For example, speak, spoke, spoken. So the verb 3 of the word, the verb speak is spoken. Examples: I worked late yesterday. She played tennis last weekend. The negative form, the subject did plus not, then the base form of the main verb. So we place not after did. Did not. After the subject, we place did not or didn't. Use did not or didn't and follow it with the base form of the main verb. Examples: I did not finish the assignment, or I didn't finish the assignment. They did not go to the party. They didn't go to the party. Note, the auxiliary verb did is used in the past simple, negative, and question forms, but not in the affirmative. Also, the main verb remains in its base form, ed, for regular verbs in negative sentences. Now the exercise: put the verbs into the correct tense, past simple or present perfect. Number 1, I have never been to Japan before, but I visited Tokyo last summer. So we have here the keyword last summer. So do we use the present perfect verb or the past simple verb? Yes, we use the past simple tense. And the answer is visited. I have never been to Japan before, but I visited Tokyo last summer. Number 2, they have finished their exams. They study for weeks. 4 weeks is a keyword for the present perfect simple. So study becomes have studied. They have studied for weeks. Number 3, we not see each other since October. So since here is a keyword for present perfect simple, and the answer is we have not seen or we haven't seen each other since October. Thank you for watching and goodbye for a new lesson.